a little bit. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Course in Miracles teaching for the week of February, the 10th, February 10th, 2025. But of course, these are timeless readings, so whenever you come across this material, it is meant for you. So before we begin, I'd just like to say thank you for being here. Thank you for all the subscribers, and hello to all the new subscribers. I truly appreciate and thank you for being here. My name's Deborah, and this is Anchored in Faith 333. So we will be doing a quick meditation just to set our container space, and then we will be doing the text, which is, we're still on chapter 2, the separation and the atonement, and we are on section 8, the meaning of the last judgment. And then after the text reading, I will do a short commentary and bring in the light language to end our session. So if you'd just like to get comfortable, I'm going to be using this Tibetan singing bowl. This is in the tone B, and it is associated to the crown chakra. So if you'd just like to take a nice deep breath in, breathing in. Well, let's take a nice deep breath in, I should say. Let's clear the space here. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, we're gonna breathe in God frequency, and we're gonna release all the things that no longer serve us. Thank you, Spirit. Connecting and grounding into the 5D crystalline core of Mother Gaia. Tuning into our heart chakra. Dropping out of the mind and connecting it into the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, beautiful. So let's get started. I hope everyone's doing well. Sending you so much love. I really enjoy coming on here and doing these lessons for you, and I hope you do too. So if you do resonate with the teachings, please like, share, comment, subscribe. It really helps get the message out. I know you hear this all the time with other content creators, but it does help the algorithm, and more importantly for me, not doing this for profit, but I'm doing this to hopefully help somebody that may be in need or has never come across the Course in Miracles text before, and it might resonate with them and certainly open a new possibility for them. Okay, so let's get started. Section 8, the meaning of the last judgment. One of the ways in which you can correct the magic miracle confusion is to remember that you did not create yourself. You are apt to forget this when you become egocentric, and this puts you in a position where a belief in magic is virtually inevitable. Your will to create was given you by your Creator, who was expressing the same will in his creation. Since creative ability rests in the mind, everything you create is necessarily a matter of will. It also follows that whatever you alone make is real in your own sight, though not in the mind of God. This basic distinction leads directly into the real meaning of the last judgment. The last judgment is one of the most threatening ideas in your thinking. This is because you do not understand it. Judgment is not an attribute of God. It was brought into being only after the separation, when it became one of the many learning devices to be built into the overall plan. Just as the separation occurred over millions of years ago, the last judgment will extend over a similarly long period, and perhaps an even longer one. Its length can, however, be greatly shortened by miracles, the device for shortening but not abolishing time. If a sufficient number become truly miracle-minded, this shortening process can be virtually immeasurable. It is essential, however, that you free yourself from fear quickly, because you must emerge from the conflict if you are to bring peace to other minds. The Last Judgment is generally thought of as a procedure undertaken by God. Actually, it will be undertaken by my brothers with my help. It is a final healing rather than a meting out of punishment, however much you may think that punishment is deserved. Punishment is a concept totally opposed to right-mindedness, and the aim of the Last Judgment is to restore right-mindedness to you. The Last Judgment might be called a process of right evaluation. It simply means that everyone will finally come to understand what is worthy and what is not. After this, the ability to choose can be directed rationally. Until this distinction is made, however, the vacillations between free and imprisoned will cannot be continued. Oh, let me just repeat that. Until this distinction is made, however, the vacillations between free and imprisoned will cannot but continue. The first step toward freedom involves a sorting out of the false from the true. This is a process of separation in the constructive sense and reflects the true meaning of the apocalypse. Everyone will ultimately look upon his own creations and choose to preserve only what is good, just as God himself looked upon what he had created and knew that it was good. At this point, the mind can begin to look with love on its own creations because of their worthiness. At the same time, the mind will inevitably disown its miscreations, which, without belief, will no longer exist. The term Last Judgment is frightening, not only because it has been projected onto God, but also because of the association of last with death. This is an outstanding example of upside-down perception. If the meaning of the Last Judgment is objectively examined, it is quite apparent that it is really the doorway to life. No one who lives in fear is really alive. Your own Last Judgment cannot be directed toward yourself because you are not your own creation. You can, however, apply it meaningfully and at time to everything you have made, and retain in your memory only what is creative and good. This is what your right-mindedness cannot but dictate. The purpose of time is solely to give you time to achieve this judgment. It is your own perfect judgment of your own perfect creations. When everything you retain is lovable, there is no reason for fear to remain with you. This is your part in the atonement. So that is Chapter 2, the separation and the atonement, Section 8, the meaning of the Last Judgment. And I'm sure this teaching is going to create some fear in people, certainly, especially in our times that we're currently in. We hear a lot about, the 3 dark days, and, the Last Judgment's upon us, and there's a lot of interpretations around the definition and what that means. So hopefully, if, you had any confusion or needed clarity on what the Last Judgment, the meaning of the Last Judgment, that helped you. And I'm just going to read the commentary now that goes along with this teaching. So they're saying that the Last Judgment is described as a purpose of right evaluation where individuals recognize what is worthy and what is not, allowing them to choose reasonably. It is not a condemnation, but rather a final healing, where one retains only what is good and disowns miscreations that no longer exist without belief in them. So, to me, what this is, how the way I interpret this is that it is a self-examination. It is us doing all of that inner work, and that's what the Course in Miracles does, is it helps us get to the root of who we really are, and helps us recognize what is worthy and what is not. And it's going to be different for everybody, certainly. So I don't necessarily see it as the coming of, the end of the world. It's the end of who we know us to be. And I can certainly attest to that because I have been going through some transformation and just stripping off another layer. So, and it's very uncomfortable at times. Work is not for the faint at heart, let me tell you. I certainly, there's been times where it's been hard, and the Course in Miracles has helped me get through that process. So that's why I encourage, I bring this content to you, because I know that this is a tool that can help us through our journey and through our ascension process, and help us just give us a little more ease and grace while we venture through these challenging times. So the A Course in Miracles explains further that the Last Judgment is undertaken by individuals with the help of others, and is a final healing rather than a punishment. It is a process where perception ends and the world is seen as totally forgiven, without sin, and purposeless, eventually slipping away to nothingness. Well, that really explains a lot in what's going on in my reality, because I feel like things have slipped into that nothingness phase where, I spent my whole life trying to accumulate wealth and material abundance in the earlier stages of my life, before I was awake and before I started out on this journey. But since I've begun this journey, and this has been over a long period of time, I now find myself getting rid of all the things that I have spent years accumulating. And that's also metaphorically within me, within my being. And it's like, it's not that I'm not happy. I'm happy. It's not like a depressive state. It's just like, I look at stuff and it has a different meaning to me. It's like meaningless, quite honest, is what it feels like. And, I hope that if you are experiencing this, I send just a lot of love, because it's a very interesting dichotomy you find yourself in, especially when you're, vacillating between the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, back to the third dimension. We're all over the map at times. So it's I just, for anyone that might be at this stage in their journey, I know we're all where we're supposed to be. This is not a race. We are exactly where we're supposed to be. So, but if you are at this stage, just be easy on yourself, be kind to yourself, and let the Course help you in this process. And then, let's see here. And then the Last Judgment in A Course in Miracles is a metaphor for the end of the dream of separation and the awakening to one's true identity as a holy son of God. Limitless and pure. It is a time of salvation where fear is released and peace and security and happiness is restored. So it's really self-evaluation, coming into your own, like bridging the gap between your separate self, and now you're experiencing your relation with the Holy Spirit as we are all one. So I hope, I'm just going to leave that there for the teaching. I hope that gave you a little more clarity on the meaning of the Last Judgment according to A Course in Miracles. And now we're going to do the light language. And I was using my deck of cards, but I have them put away for now because I'm doing some things in my home, and I have packed them away at the moment. So I'm just using my discernment, and we're going to go with this beautiful stone here. Whoa, I'm not really sure what type of crystal this is, but nonetheless, this is what I was drawn to do, and we're going to use this clear quartz crystal to help amplify bringing in the light language. And I think I'm going to do a video about what the difference between light language and speaking in tongues. I really don't see that much difference in the two, is because I do both, but I think it would be a good video to help discern, differentiate between the two. But it is bringing through and being embodied with the Holy Spirit. And that's who we'll be working with today, the Holy Spirit and Ascended Master Jesus, to help us bring in the light language that goes along with the meaning of the Last Judgment. So if you just like to get comfortable, I know we grounded in earlier, but let's just kind of come back to our present moment, our awareness, back into our bodies. Take a nice deep breath in. I'm just calibrating my energy. Oh, there's a big angel here. I think it's Archangel Michael. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. And that would explain why I was drawn to use this blue crystal. The Sword of Truth. Okay. Dropping in, stepping aside. Holy Spirit. Fill my vessel. Abarero o bojo barero o bari o do kodo ba ere barero koda barade do ko di ho badada ho de do ko are bara haro barkodo jeke de do ok baba bari ho to ko po where he ete o so baba de bara barkoto o jeke te pa e he te o ko wa hete para tato o ko wa ite o sa tata aha pakate ito o kututu o kete ite o ko wa ite o sa katati hete o ko tata hete o ko wa pati pare hore here hora hara gora here bare ere ro ko e. Those are beautiful. And during the bringing in that light language, I was seeing a huge infinity sign. And in the middle, obviously where the signs meet, is where that zero balance point is. It almost appeared like a circle of light, and the light was extending above and below. And so what this tells me is it just correlates with bringing in the frequency of the Last Judgment and how we are doing a self-realization and balancing both aspects of ourselves. And in the middle, that's where we transcend along with the divine consciousness. So I hope you enjoyed today's teaching, light language activation and meditation, to assist you with your journey for the week of February 10th, or whenever you come across this video. I'm sending you so much love, blessings, and abundance, and we'll see you next week. So, namaste.